Well, hello, boys and girls. It's when I feel like 8 o'clock again. We're all excited, aren't we? Yes. I'm Pearl of Wisdom, and you're listening to my NHL Pearls of Wisdom. Well, I just did a video on Toronto and trading Marner, and you had letters sent to me like I haven't seen in a long time, and I read them all, boys and girls. So please send them if you can. If you don't want to send them, you can send comments down on the bottom. I listen to those too. I read those as well. Yeah, we go down to the letter mailbox there, mail room. We take a big sack and we throw them on the letter table and we read them, and it's beautiful. One of the letters came from Ron Cusey from Illinois, who asked, what's going to happen with Perry? Yes, the whole situation now with Perry, that he has agreed to waive his no trade, and Anaheim's going to try to find a place for him. Now, Perry is making 8-point-some million for the next 2 years. This looks like a buyout to me, but okay, let's say that that Anaheim decides to take $3 million back, so they can try to get as much of a return as possible to another team, in order for them not to have to buy him out and and have to pay for it. Even though they have to pay for it, maybe they can get a decent return back. Personally, I think it's likely going to end up in a buyout, but there are some teams that may be able to bite on that. One of them is the New Jersey Devils. The New Jersey Devils have I think 35 or 40 million in cap space right now. Now, they do have to sign Hall. They have to sign Hischier. They have to sign Butcher. That's going to eat a lot into their cap. I'm guessing Hall's going to be somewhere around in the 9 to 10 million mark. Hischier, it would be smart if they could give him a long term right now, because he hasn't reached his peak yet. If you could get him at $7.5 million at 8 years, that'd be wonderful. But if I'm his agent, I'm saying take a short-term contract, go to get to the point where you are going to be one of the better centers in the league, and you can make a lot more money later. So that's going to be an interesting contract. But let's say it is 7.5. They do sign him for 7.5. Let's say max 8. That eats up a lot of that cap space. That's 10, 18 million. Plus, Butcher is probably going to sign, and they've got a couple more to sign. If they take his for 5, they're looking at about maybe 8 to 9 million in cap space for the next 2 years. Not too shabby. However, they're doing Anaheim a favor by taking this. So don't expect a lot in return for Anaheim. Anaheim, on the other hand, may say, unless we're getting at least a second or a third, at least a second probably, we'll probably just buy him out, and take the extra cap space to fill out our roster. However, New Jersey is a darn good possibility. They certainly could use some leadership to help out Hall as they go forward in that organization. They are going to need room for some more defensemen, though, and they could wait for the buyout to happen and hopefully get him for $3-4 million. Now, the problem with that, of course, is he has a choice to where he wants to go. And actually, he probably has a choice of whether he wants to go to New Jersey or not. So a lot of this is dependent on where Perry wants to go. If he wants to stay out west, which most players want to do because they like to stay around the area that they grew up for their children's sake, and it depends on if his wife is going to move with them. Wife and children are going to move with them, or if they want to stay in Anaheim because they've lived there forever and they have lots of friends and all that. If that's the case, you're looking more towards Western teams. And there's 2 Western teams I would think would maybe bite on something like this. The Colorado Avalanche, who also have a lot of cap space. However, they've got some shitloads of signings they got to do. In Rantanen, I'm just trying to think. There's Barry coming up again, but they've got some cap space to do this, and it's only for 2 years. they certainly need offensive depth. So they could bite. Would they be willing to give up a second as a team that's still kind of rebuilding? I'm not sure about that. I kind of wonder if they wouldn't just also roll the dice and say we're a Western team, especially for them because they're a Western team. They have an opportunity to probably have a pretty good opportunity to get them after the buyout. The other team would be the Vancouver Canucks. The Vancouver Canucks definitely need some depth. Virtanen hasn't worked out the way they want. They definitely have some cap space, but they got to sign Peterson. They've got their guys that they have to sign as well. It all depends on whether these teams are wanting to take a guy who, like for instance, maybe he doesn't know Colorado or Vancouver. If they want to ensure that they get this player, they may give up the second round pick to make sure that they get him, rather than have him ultimately have a choice of everybody at the end. My thinking is though, he has a no trade clause, so he's willing, or no movement clause, so he's willing to waive his no movement clause, but I'm sure he has a lot of input. It would almost be the same as if he would get bought out and be able to choose where he wants to go anyways. So ultimately what I'm trying to say here is I think the likelihood is the buyout is what's going to happen. Anaheim would have to convince Perry to say, can you throw us a bone here? And Perry's going to be like, throw you a bone? You're throwing me to the waters here. So I don't think I need to throw you the bone. I'm going to do what's best for my family. That's what I think is going to happen. That's my full 42%, boys and girls. That's all I have to give. I'm in the red room here, if you're wondering. The red room is where I do my massaging and all my ideas and thoughts and pearls come from the universe as I massage and meditate and bring you these fine pearls. So if you would like some more of these pearls, why don't you hit that subscribe button and the bell, and I'll send you a My NHL Pearls of Wisdom necklace where you can use it for your own pearls, and it's signed by me. Have a great day. Lots of love to you.